Guys, Team Corally sent me some parcels. Wow. This is the first time ever we've had any kind of Team Corally on the channel. Super excited about this. You can see we've got two parcels there. And the top one, I couldn't resist, guys. It was just an odd shape and I couldn't understand what's going to be inside this box, so I had to get it open. And I can't wait to share with you what I've got in this box, guys. But check it out. We've got the KRONOS XP 6S. This is the RTR model, guys, and I have been informed that this particular one has got some upgrades on there, and I can't wait to see what them upgrades are, guys. But in today's video as well, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that you should do to any new RC car, guys, if you're going to get yourself one of these. So anyway, guys, let's not mess around. Let's get into these boxes. Let's see what's in this box. Wow, it's full. Wow. We got a work mat. Got a hoodie. Wow. Got a t-shirt. And obviously we've got to have the cap as well. That looks awesome. We've got some tools. Yeah. Right, we've got special body scissors. Got a curve on them. Alright, okay, so we've got a little carrier bag as well for all these goodies. Excellent. Oh, we've got an awesome little stand. Oh, a little mouse mat. Alright, so look like some kind of solutions. Let's get it opened up. Oh, yes. There we go. Some shock oils, guys. We've got some various weights of shock oils. Excellent. These all... Got another little parcel here. Oh, diff oil. That always comes in handy. So we've got 250, 100, 10,000, 20,000. Excellent. What's this one? Alright, we've got some nice grease. We've got some copper grease. So we've got some shock o-ring grease. We've got some lithium grease. Superb, guys. Wow. Check this out, guys. So we've got some pre-made stickers. I assume it's for the KRONOS that we're going to be unboxing very shortly. That's awesome. It's got my name on it. And it's got the logo on there. And what we've got. Nice little letter there from Team Corally. That's super. And we've got a quick overview of the KRONOS XP. So just a quick breakdown, guys. Team Corally's electronics, from what I've heard, are some of the best RTR electronics you can get in any of your vehicles. So highly recommended to me. Excellent. Can't wait to try them out. And just features about the KRONOS. Alright, okay, so we've got aluminium shocks, aluminium braces as well. That's really good. Upper arm braces. We've got shock towers. They are machined aluminium shock towers. Wing mount. Got a nice chunky wing mount. And the diff gears as well. They're all machined gears. Alright, excellent. So they look to be really good. And you've got an aluminium housing on the center diff, I assume. The other two look like plastic housing, so that's really good as well. And we've got a lot of bracing as well. So guys, I think some nice oversized arms as well, so that's really good. I think this is what Team Corally were talking about when they said they had some upgrades to it. So guys, look, you've got the tower brace, You've got steering knuckles, so we've got a chunkier steering rack, that's really good as well. Yeah, nice. Center drive shafts, we've got some shock towers there as well, so 5mm, so that's going to be good. Shock ends, that's good, hopefully they're going to be durable. And caster clips, excellent. Really blown away by all of this. That's absolutely awesome. I can't wait to be giving this a go, guys. Especially with all these kind of tuning oils and greases and whatnot. This is really good if you want to tune your cars a little and you're not sure which way to go. You've got a selection of different ones. Really happy about all of that, guys. Like, blown away by all of this. This looks absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to get some good usage out of all of this kind of stuff. So really happy about that. Thank you very much, Team Corally. So anyway, guys, I think now let's get into this box underneath and let's see what this Kronos is about. All right, let's get this baby open. Wow, guys, that is awesome. Right, let me get it out of the box. Let's have a look and see what's inside. Alright, that's the remote. S2R digital remote. Oh, looks cool, guys. I'm liking the yellow. Looks cool. Feels alright in the hand as well. Nice one wheel as well. What's this at the top? Okay, I'm not too sure about that. We'll have to check the manual and see what that is, guys, but that seems to be good. That button's not labelled either, so we'll have to check the manual. I said I've never owned one of these before, so I'm not sure what all these buttons do. But that's what manuals are for, right? Getting out. In the box. This packaging all off. Alright. Alright, guys, I can see some upgrades going on there already. So we need to get all the plastic taken off. Let me get all set up and we'll go over this rig properly. Alright, so she's all out of the box. It looks awesome, guys. I'm really liking the colours on the body. They're really vivid, and I'm not sure if I was going to like it or not, but I do like it. We'll see how it looks when it's out running. The body itself, yeah, could do with some reinforcement. That's something that we're going to be doing to this, guys. I did say there's 5 things that I do want to do to this rig before we take it out, but it's 5 things that I tend to do to all my rigs before I take them out. So something that is highly recommended if you are going to do it. But let's just quickly look over this rig, guys. And first of all, what stands out is this tower to tower brace. So it has the optional extra tower to tower brace already installed. That's really good, guys. It's really good. Okay guys, I just want to do a quick update. I was a bit curious to see whether Team Corally are now offering all these upgraded parts that you see on this rig with any new KRONOS XP. So I did reach out to a member of the Team Corally team, and I did ask him that question. So it does seem that if you were to be buying one of these rigs right now, you won't get any of these upgrades installed as it comes out of the box. Some dealers and Team Corally are running a promotional on these rigs. I think it might apply to a few different Success rigs. You have to check, but with this KRONOS XP, they are currently doing a promotional offer where you will get given a tower to tower brace with all the fittings that you need to have to fit this to the car, and you will get given the upgraded steering knuckles. Both of them things are very good to have on this car. It will make it definitely a lot stronger and keep that fun factor going for a little longer. So as I said, Team Corally are doing a promotional offer, so if you did buy this car straight from the Team Corally website, they will send you out a tower to tower brace and a steering knuckle set of steering knuckles to go with the car. It's something that you're going to have to install yourself. With regards to individual dealers, some dealers are running this promotional offer as well. You would have to ring through and check with them prior to you purchasing the rig itself. So just double check with the dealer if they are running that same promotional offer, and no Team Corally are doing that offer as well. Anyways, I just wanted to clear that up. Let's just carry on looking at this rig, guys. First impressions, it looks quite tough actually. Look at the arms, are quite chunky. We'll see how well they hold up. We've got fully aluminium shocks. I'll have to check what weight oil there is in them shocks, guys. We've got the Torx 185 ESC. I think it's a rebranded Hobby Wing ESC, and if it is, then we are able to program that as well and have some kind of program capabilities. What we can change, I'll have to check the manual and see what kind of settings we are able to change. And notice these nice brace in there. It does remind me of the sledge. 2 points of contact with the tower, that's really good. Looks like I can just see there we've got some kind of bracing going along the bottom here. It stops, I think, just at the center tower. Yeah, it does, just stops here, guys. That is all plastic as well. Again, this is a good feature to have to stop the chassis from bending. And then towards the front here, we've got another single brace at the front here. Then we've got that really nice tower to tower brace. That looks really good, guys. Some fixed steering linkages. I'm not sure how good they're going to be, but we do have fixed linkages on the X-Max, and that's been perfectly fine. I've not had to change it or adjust them. And these wheels look to be quite straight as well, so we shouldn't have to adjust it. So I don't mind them, I know they do work. Arms look alright as well, guys. That's no issues there. Got the upgraded knuckles as well on there. They look quite chunky, and there's a lot of meat around where the ball is going into the knuckles, so that's really good. Towards the back here, looks like we've got some fixed tie rods as well. Again, don't have an issue with them as long as the wheel alignment is all good. So it looks like we've also got a set of sway bars. I think it'll be at the front as well as the rear. That's really good, guys. We've got a nice little bumper on the back as well. Wing mount looks okay. We don't have a wheelie bar on it. I'm not sure if you can buy one at a later date. I'll have to look into that. And then just coming on this side here, obviously we've got the KRONOS. I think this is a 2050. Just quickly check. Yeah. So this is the KRONOS 2050 motor. Can't see, so we've got a nice little cover over the pinion and spur. I'll have to check what pinion is in there. Might be a 12 or a 13. I'll have to check that. And then just coming at the front here, we've got a steering servo. What's nice is you've got a nice aluminium horn on there as well, so hopefully that's gonna hold out really well. We've got a tiny bumper. We'll see how well that does and see if there's any kind of upgrades available for the bumper. I do like to have my rigs with bumpers on there, so that looks really good, guys. Let's just check out the suspension. Suspension feels alright. I might have to adjust the springs to allow this thing to come back up again. I mean, this is all about tuning. I said this is the first Team Corally rig that we have had on the channel, so I've not had any kind of experience with any of these rigs, see how well they drive. But I think for now what I want to do, guys, is I want to share with you 5 things that I want to do, and I have noticed that these things are going to be required on this car as well, as I'm just looking over them. And then we'll get them things done, and then we'll get this thing out and we'll give it a blast and see what this KRONOS XP success is all about, guys. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go over the 5 things out. Number 1 is to vent the tires. I have noticed I can't see any vent holes on any of these wheels, so we're going to need to vent these. We have to vent the tires, so it has some place to release any kind of trapped water in these wheels. If you don't have anywhere to release this trapped water, these tires will end up blowing off the rim. Normally when you don't have a vent hole on the outside of these tires, they tend to have a vent hole on the inner rim of these tires, so we just got to locate them vent holes, and then we're going to use some normal electrical tape and cover them vent holes up. And what I'm going to use to vent my tires with is this here. This is a refrigeration valve. It's a slightly bit bigger than what I would like to use on an 8th scale like this, guys, but it is what I've got. And literally it is a copper pipe that I use a round file like this on. Pop this inside the drill bit, and then I just run this file through it, and I just get a nice sharp edge to the trim here, so we get a nice clean cut of this rubber. And all we want to do is just take a piece of rubber out and hopefully leave it nice and clean so we don't get any tear in the future. Now with this being probably around what, 5mm, something like that, put 2 of these holes in, so one at the top and one on the opposite side as well at the bottom, and I'll do that all the way around, guys. That's number 1. Number 2, guys, if these nuts don't have a serrated edge to them, in my experience, guys, they are going to come off the wheel if they haven't got any kind of blue Loctite on there. So I'm just going to go around, put a dab of blue Loctite, remove the nuts, put a dab of blue Loctite on there, and put the nuts back on again. That will stop these nuts from falling off. So number 3, guys, as I said before, this body I think personally could do with a bit of reinforcing. Normally what I do is I tend to do a Shugu reinforcement with some drywall tape. I don't think I will do in this case. What I will do in this case, guys, is use some, we call it gaffer tape, duct tape. You can get this as a gorilla tape as well. This is all I've got at the moment, so I'm just going to use some of this, and I'm just going to go around the inside and try and cover the whole of this body as much as I can with some gorilla tape. Before I do any of that, make sure you give this thing a good clean out. Some soap and water would do the job just fine. Just make sure any kind of grease or anything like that is been removed, so when you do come to stick this down, it's going to stay stuck down to it. So again, that's something I'm going to get done off camera. That's very simple, very straightforward, but is very effective, and it will prolong the life of your shell. Number 4 is setting endpoints. Right, so setting endpoints is very important. What it does is it stops the servo from overexerting itself and pushing the wheels past a point where they can't physically go any further, and it just puts a lot of strain onto that servo, and thus could damage it. It could make it stop working. So it's really good, and it's really highly advised for you to set the endpoints. And what that does, guys, is you tell the servo to stop turning the wheels once the wheels cannot physically turn anymore from the whole setup that you have. So in this case, that would be the maximum it would turn. So we need to tell the servo to not turn anymore, try not to turn these wheels any further than this point. And again, we'll do the same on the opposite side. And lastly, number 5, and this one is really important. This is something that I do to all my rigs, and I highly advise that this does prolong the life of the plastics. I tend to go around the whole car before I take it out with some WD-40. This is just some standard WD-40, nothing special. And what I do is I make sure all the plastics are sprayed, and then what I will do is I will leave that as it is, standing overnight, or at least a couple of hours, so that the WD-40 has some time to penetrate the plastics. And what this does is it allows the plastics to be a bit more flexible, so if you're out bashing, the plastics will be able to take a little bit more of a hit before they will break. And I've personally found it very effective. So that's my 5th point, guys, and those are 5 things that I'm going to be doing to this rig before we get this thing out. So guys, I'll get that done quickly. Alright guys, so I've removed the first wheel, and straight away, as I said, there is no vent hole in the tyre itself, so we're going to have to make a vent hole, and I'll show you quickly. There, you can see it. There is a vent hole on the inside, guys. This isn't really any good to us, because when we're driving this and it's full of water, water wants to expand, and it tends to gather around the edges of the wheel, and it tends to push the wheel out. So quickly looking over the way that the tyre is glued as well, that's very important. A lot of the time I find with the armors especially, they tend to come unglued. That looks to be glued well, that's really good. And lastly guys, this is a nut that's come off, and you can see there is no kind of serration on there, so you're going to definitely need some blue Loctite. So I've done all the other 3 guys, and I just want to quickly show you what I've done before I put this last wheel back on. So you can see just there we've got a vent hole, and on the opposite side we've got another one. I've only gone for 2 vent holes, and they're on the opposite sides of each other. If I had a smaller bit that I was using, I would probably go for 4 on all 4 corners, and it will just allow the water just to disperse a lot better. But for now I'm just going to leave it like that. And then just inside guys, you can just see there I have covered the vent hole with some electrical tape. Nothing special, just some standard. It's a good idea to give it a quick clean, because it could have a little bit of grease on there. You want that tape to stay put, you don't want any water getting in there. So that's the wheel done. And then just on this part here, you can see I've put some blue Loctite just around a couple of the rings, and that should be enough to keep that nut from falling off when we're running this thing at high speed. Pop the wheel back on. What I do like about these Team Corally wheels is the nut is a lot easier to put on as opposed to any of them other branded wheels, guys. It's something that you can put on and off with your fingers, and then just give it a quick tighten up. There you have it. All 4 wheels are done now, guys. Now let's reinforce the body. Guys, we're all done with the body now. So guys, I have gone ahead and put duct tape on all the way around. There are going to be places where it doesn't stick too well, and you just got to keep on going over it. What I tend to do with these kind of areas is add a bit of heat to it and just keep it pressed down, and eventually it should stick. But if you have cleaned the car really well, then you shouldn't have too many problems with it peeling back. So what I've done is I've just gone ahead and gone over these sort of areas a few times with some duct tape, just to make sure that them areas are probably the areas that I tend to see the most stress on the body. And guys, you can notice we have some roof skid plates installed as well. There wasn't any kind of roof protection on this body, and I do tend to land on the roof a few times, so this body's going to get all scratched up. So to prevent that, guys, I put some roof skid plates on. These are from the KRONOS 6S EXB roof skid plates. These have been sent to me by Liam from LST3D. I'll leave a link in the description. He does have an eBay store where you can purchase these. I find these really good. They're quite strong and there's a lot of meat on there as well, so they'll last you quite a while as well. So they fit on quite well as well. Don't see any issues doing that. So guys, that's the body all done now. Next, guys, I've already gone ahead and sprayed this whole rig down with WD-40, and I also gave the body a little spray as well. I know with WD-40 you do get a build-up of muck and dirt. I just regularly wash my cars down, and this car as well, I don't see any problems with me being able to wash that down. It does have rubber seal bearings, and the ESC is splash proof as well. So another job that I had to do, guys, you can see I've got a set of batteries in there. I've actually had to change out the straps that come with the car. I've got a set of Z3S hard case lipos there. The hard case lipos do tend to be slightly thicker. I was just finding the original car straps weren't going round enough, so I've just put these on. These are available on eBay. I will leave a link in the description. Slightly being a bit longer than these because these hard cases are a bit thicker, so I will change them out. That's quite straightforward for me to change them straps out. A couple of screws holding the battery tray and the ESC all in together. So once I've loosened them, I was able to remove the old ones and just put the new ones in place. So guys, that is the car nearly done. There's one job left to do with this car. Before I do that, guys, I just want to quickly run over the literature that came with the car. So we've got a manual for the remote, and I will go over that remote. Looks to be quite straightforward. We've got a quick start guide for the car, and in here will just tell you a quick exploded views of the differentials and your shocks and what kind of oils they've used. So a really good manual to have knocking around. I always keep my manuals together. And this here is the manual specifically for the Torx 185 ESC, and this manual is another straightforward one. It does, as I said, it looks like a rebranded Hobby Wing, and with that you do have a set button that's located next to the power switch. That set button will allow you to do some kind of reprogramming on the ESC, and this here is the programming status of the ESC, and everything that's highlighted is the default settings from factory. So it's really good to see all these options here you can change using the set button. So just quickly looking over these features here, you can see we've got something here that's quite interesting. You've got the Beck voltage, and you have an option to increase the Beck voltage to 7.4 or leave it at 6 volt. The Beck voltage is the power that's sent to the steering servo. So if you find that your steering servo is acting a bit slow and you want to increase the power to it and get sharper steering, then you can increase that. But when you do usually increase the Beck voltage, it means that you can reduce the servo life span as well. So you just got to be careful and see how you like it or not. So at the moment I'm going to leave everything at default. A couple other things that you might want to change: you got the brake force here at number 8. You can alter that. Currently it's set at 50%, so that's perfectly fine. I think for me I might need to go down depending on how it jumps and handles in the air. And then you've got here the punch settings, which is another thing that I do tend to change out. Punch setting at default is at level 3. At the moment I'll leave it at level 3, we'll see how that goes, but we can go all the way up to level 5. Everything else, I don't think, it's not something that I would probably mess around with, but if you do want to, by all means you can give it a go and see how you get on. But that is the manual for the ESC, and just on page 6 here, it just gives you a short flow diagram of how to reset or change the programming status on the ESC. So guys, I might do that in a future video depending on whether I need to do any kind of changes on that. So guys, now the last job, which is job number 5, or point number 5 that you want to be doing with your ESC before you, with your rig before you want to take it out, is set the endpoints. So This is the controller that comes with the car, and you have to provide your own AA battery, so you need 4 of them. And just quickly going over this, I had a quick read of the manual. You've got the power button on the back here. You've got an LED light that lights up when the power is on. Then you got a bind button here, so if you do need to bind the controller. You got the steering, reverse and throttle reverse, so it depends on which direction or which way you've wired up your ESC and your motor. You might find it might be running in the opposite direction. Just a quick flick of the switch will change that for you. The wheel itself seems to be really good. It's got a nice foam padding on there as well, so that feels good in the hand. I like the spring action. Then you got a couple of buttons on either side at the top here. These are your steering trim and your throttle trim. These are digital. There's something that I'm not used to, so we'll see how that goes, but it's just a case of up and down until you get it to the desired settings. This button here is your steering dual rate adjuster, so it's something that we're going to need to use to set the endpoints on this thing, so that's all good. And then just up here I've got a little button. It's something I'm not used to. This button is the ratio settings for the power to brake, power to reverse ratio. So you currently have 2 settings. You got 5 to 5 and you got 7 to 3. Currently it's set at 5 to 5, so I'm going to leave it at that just for now, see how that goes. The final thing that I recommend you do to any new RC car, and that is to set your endpoints for your steering servo. Quite easy, quite simple to do. So first get some batteries in there, we'll get the remote turned on, and then just power button, we'll count down and make sure everything's working. So that seems to be all good, and we'll just give it a quick squeeze of the throttle as well. Yep. That seems to be working fine. So how to set your endpoints using this vario prop, I think it's what you call it, S2R controller. So what we do is we turn the wheel one direction and keep it in that position, and using this little knob on this side here, we change that knob to, we basically keep on altering the settings until the wheels start turning. So just at that point there, the wheel started turning. So we have probably about a quarter of the turn where the wheels weren't turning but the knob was turning, which is telling me that this setting needs to be set around this sort of area here. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side, and you should find, so just on the opposite side we're about there, so it's a little bit less. So now the wheels are turning and the servo won't be pushing on them wheels beyond the point that we just set, and that is called the end point on the right we just set, and then the same on the left as well. One final point, guys, is go over all the screws on the rig, top to bottom, front to back, with a hex driver, and make sure they're all tight as well. That's something. Okay guys, so that is it. Now we've done our 5 points that I wanted to cover in today's video. Join me in the next one when I take this thing out for its first outing. I can't wait, guys. Not sure where I'm gonna go, but I'm definitely gonna have some fun with this rig. It looks awesome, everything's all ready with it, guys, and I can't wait. So guys, I hope you found today's video helpful, useful and informative. If you did, make sure you give me a like. If you haven't already subscribed, you know what to do, guys. Hit that subscribe, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. And until then, see ya.